Checky, the MC GZ featuring Swiga earlier on, playing on Baze Radio.co.ke. 25 minutes past 4 p.m. We are live in the third hour. I'm being joined by advocates born and raised from Itzland. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the founder, CEO, Law of the Ring. The live in studio, Shadrach, Wambui and Benjamin, they're here to share their journey, because this coming Saturday, November 23rd, at Charter Hall, we'll be witnessing the second edition of Law of the Ring. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you one more time, Advocate Wakili.
Yo.
Shadrach, Wambui and Benjamin, welcome to Baze Radio.
Asante.
Mambo vipi?
Thank you.
Fiti.
It's a Monday.
Yes, it's a Monday. We are feeling nice. I mean, the weather has been very nippy and rainy. Yes, but very conducive for training. So
for training?
Yes. I have been training in the high latitude in Nairobi, around Ngong area. Sitaki kuchoka hivi wakati wa game. So huyu kijana sijui kama amekuwa akipiga mazoezi akitake advantage ya hii weather.
Zoezi ni mingi Nairobi. Zoezi yako imekuwa gani?
Zoezi yangu ni kutulia. Mimi nilisha train kitambo sana, ngoja tu game.
Confidence. Ama ni chocha?
Si chocha. Pia depends on who you're training for.
Mnyonge.
Mnyonge msonge.
It's happening 23rd November 2024 at Charter Hall, Law of the Ring. Advanced tickets are going for 1,000 bob. Advanced VIP are going for 3,500 bob. Advanced philanthropy 8,000. Tickets won't be sold at the gate, but the gates will be open by 6 p.m. Now let's go through the idea, the journey. When did you guys start, this initiative, Law of the Ring?
Well, the Law of the Ring was born last year when we had our first edition. It was purely an idea born between myself and my colleague here, Benjamin Jeru. It was aimed at helping us in sourcing for funds, because we hail from various boxing clubs and we've been struggling with the difficulties of buying equipment. We have boxers who are unable to go to school because of the poverty levels, in some of our gym or the areas where we hail from. So because of those challenges, we thought, well, what will be a better idea of raising resources or raising funds in a way that also brings a lot of enjoyment and excitement amongst the audience that we want to attract. So we thought, well, because he's a boxer, I'm a boxer, we've been doing this, we should just come up with a fight. We rally the people who believe in us. We rally the lawyers who are our colleagues, so that they can come. When they are fundraising, they can also equally be enjoying their fundraiser, because they will be contributing for the pleasure that they want to draw from that boxing extravaganza. So that is how the idea was born. And voila, last year we had a very spectacular experience. We had an experience that is worth remembering, because we raised a lot of funds that have helped the boxers throughout the year. So we thought, well, we should just have a repeat of what we had last year. The young man calls it a revenge, so we are just waiting to see whether he will be having a revenge. But we're just expecting a repeat. In any event, the only thing that we expect to change is probably the revenue that we are going to recover this time round. Yes.
This time round.
Yes.
Shadrach, you've said much in regards to now you guys coming from the areas whereby there's high rise of crime, substance abuse, mental health issues. How does this initiative address those issues, Benjamin Jeru?
So basically the initiative targets boxers in our various boxing clubs, and you'll realize when you go into those boxing clubs that they lack the basics. One, they struggle through education. Two, they struggle through the boxing in itself. Three, they struggle through their day-to-day. So this money, when raised, when there is some boxers who have school fee arrears, which now leads them to drop out of school, we come in and we supplement some of those arrears, and they are able to stay in school. Number two, boxing is a very expensive game in terms of equipment. Gloves go for around 5,000 shillings. Ring boots go for around the same money. We have headgears, we have boxing caps, we have mouth guards, we have lots of stuff, skipping rope, what have you, bandages. So everything that we raise goes towards promoting these boxing clubs so that we create a wholesome boxer and enable them and encourage them to keep up. And lastly, it gives them hope, because Shadrach and I come from exactly the places they come from. And the fact that we grew up to be lawyers also sort of gives them that bit of hope that they can keep at this. And they may not be lawyers, but they'll be doctors, they'll be pilots, they'll be successful businessmen. So this event just purposes to give that fresh outlook on these boxers' lives and change their lives one little step at a time.
One step at a time. They say the greatest always come from the east. Double tap. The council now playing on the Baze, ready to see the KE as we come back with more in the next one. Never Late, Go Wire featuring Carla Moto. Now playing on Baze, ready to see all the KE. 38 minutes past 4 p.m. Just to remind my amazing Baze Radio listeners, it's happening on 23rd November 2024 at Charter Hall, Low of the Ring. Tickets are still on sale. We've got advance regular going for 1,000 bob, VIP going for 3,500, advance philanthropy going for 8,000 bob. I'm being joined by Shadrach Wambui, Benjamin and Jiro live here on Baze Radio to see the key. Now, the second edition of the Law of the Rings aims to reduce violent crime and drug abuse through sports and community engagement. How exactly does this initiative address the root cause of these core issues in high-risk areas?
Well, number one is by raising resources or raising funds to help in keeping these boys and girls in class, assisting them, to be faithful to, our system of education, because most of them actually get out of school because of lack of school fees. Secondly, is to assist the various boxing clubs that are going to participate in this activity to have resources that they can use to buy boxing equipments. Ultimately, after all is said and done, it's about placing these boys and girls in an advantaged position so that they are able to easily hone their skills. Boxing has been a sport that is paying. Boxing has been a sport that, has produced billionaires and millionaires. You want to speak about Floyd Mayweather, you want to speak about the likes of Tyson. These are people who've been given a new lease of life, not through education, but through the sport of boxing. Mm-hmm. So what we aim at doing is just to help these young boys and young girls to also have an opportunity in life of running away from the temptations of participating in violent crimes, mm-hmm. theft, robbery, and even prostitution. So you give them an opportunity. They showcase their skills. They also promote themselves and attract donors, because we will be having people who will come out and say, if that is a Form 4 child or a Form 3 or Form 2, mm-hmm. I can volunteer and pay their school fees for the rest of their time in school. So these are some of the things that we are looking up to or forward to.
Did we have any successful stories of someone willing to support someone?
Yes, we have got so many. In fact, in our proposal, which we have, we've been sharing it out with the sponsors, there are so many stories that have touched lives. There are people who did not have school uniforms. There are people who did not have school fees. There are people who are dropped out of school. Mm-hmm. But because we had the Law of the Ring first edition, that was a huge success. They were able to return back to school. They have now, revamped their dream and their hope of a better tomorrow.
Of a better tomorrow.
Yes.
Benjamin Jiro, I want to hear it from you. How does the event plan to sustain its impact beyond just this edition? Are there plans to continue engaging with this community and providing long-term opportunities for the youth?
Yes, of course, because first of all, we've created many activities within Law of the Ring. You'd find that from time to time we have collaborative engagements with different clubs where we visit, we get to know what they're doing, we get to know their strengths, we get to know where they need help, and we get to collaborate in that way. Secondly is that when we reach out to sponsors, some of the sponsorships are long term. For example, during the first edition of the Law of the Ring, we had a partnership with LSK Nairobi branch. This year we are having a partnership with LSK Advocates Benevolent Association. So within our own society, we have mechanisms of long-term engagements with different stakeholders, and some of the other sponsors are sponsors who are repeat sponsors. So when we look at it from that angle, the partnerships and the messaging on the ground creates that environment for something bigger than Law of the Ring and something that will be sustainable over the long term.
Shadi, I know there are hopes, but I want to get it. What do you hope this initiative achieves in the next few years, and how do you envision a brighter future for the youth in these, coming from these areas?
Well, it's first a question about changing the perception of people, that people do not view boxers as being violent. It's a sport. We want this sport to be celebrated. That is number one. Number two, out of these young men and young women you're seeing, you are lighting a light in them. You're giving them some hope in life. You've told them that when you participated in the Law of the Ring 1, you see, you got money and you went back to school. You participated in the Law of the Ring 1. It was spectacular. So if you continue pushing and becoming better at what you do, because you see, it's not all boxers who are being given this opportunity. It is the best out of the many that are in the boxing gyms, because we'll be having about 14 bouts. So if you've been given this opportunity of showcasing, it means that you need to continue being better so that you can rise above, go over and beyond. Now, from these boxers, we've been seeing people who've been participating in the national leagues. It is through these national leagues that we are getting boxers who are going to help and participate in tournaments and in competitions in Africa and in the world on behalf of Kenya. So I think for me, this is a means. This is something that we are using so that people can rise and go and get beyond our borders. So it's a beautiful thing, if you ask me, and this is the reason why we are asking that we continue getting sponsors. People should come in and sponsor, come contribute. Every coin that is going to be received from on the 23rd day of November 2024, on that day, it's not going to my pocket. No, I run my own private practice as a lawyer. I earn my living. I have been unable to help everybody that I come across. The reason why we are inviting them to come, let us just do the harambe. Let us partner so that we can help these young men and young women.
Mukuchu, God Eternal, featuring Rance Kobe and Spoiler. Up next for you, keep it Baze, ready to see the KE. I'm coming back with more in the next few. Mukuchu, Samakas, God Eternal, Rance Kobe and Spoiler. Now playing on Baze Radio to CO the KE. Just to remind you, Law of the Ring Season 2 Edition 2. It's happening on 23rd November 2024 at Charter Hall, Nairobi. Tickets are still sold out. Tickets are still open. If you're looking forward to buy advanced regular, it's going for 1,000 bob. Advanced VIP 3,500 bob. Only advanced philanthropy, and it's going for 8,000. Let's go through the event. I need to understand. Take me through the event, and then let's talk about, first of all, let's start with the tickets.
For the tickets, as you've said, we are selling the tickets on Hustle Sasa. That's https://hustlesasa.shop, lawofthering.hustlesasa.shop. The 1,000 bob is, you'll get the regular one. For the VIP, that's 3,500, and a philanthropy ticket, which is those who are looking to sponsor us greatly, that's 8,000 bob. So basically, that's the tickets. On the same site, you can get merchandise. You can get t-shirts, hoodies, caps, polo shirts, whatever you want.
Crop top,
tights.
Yes, there's crop tops. There's, of course, crop tops for the babes. Yeah, we're not leaving them behind. Yeah, so as for the event, the event is basically one big party. So boxing is I wouldn't want to call it a minor part of the event, but it's equal to the other parts, which involve there'll be dancers on set, including the very great dance general and Samiro. There's great musicians. We have the likes of Ekodida. We have great MCs. We have the likes of Gustavo King, who is also an advocate. We have great DJs. We have DJ Shiki, who's an advocate as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the event is basically, as Shadrach said, an extravaganza. Yeah, I'm sure that's the only word in his vocabulary that's big enough. But yeah, it's basically an extravaganza, and we're basically looking for people to come and have fun. If you've never watched a boxing match, it will be the perfect opportunity for you to get into it, because there'll be so many other things to carry the fun for you in terms of artists, dancers, and all of that. So we'll have bouts in between.
Oh.
Yes. So there'll be several bouts, around 14 bouts, as he said. We have female bouts as well.
Oh.
Yes, so it will be a big event. Last year's was attended by around 600. Chatter Hall was completely full for our first event. So we are hoping it will be more of the same or even better.
Better.
Yeah.
Shadi, in terms of target, how many tickets are we looking forward to sell?
Well, we are looking at raising approximately 2 million shillings this time round.
Okay.
Last year, the residue that we had was about 670 something thousand. So that the spoils that were shared, each of the 3 boxing gyms or boxing clubs went home with about 225,000 shillings. So this time around, we want, we've invited in Kajiado North boxers, to represent the Kajiado as a county, and now we'll be having the spoils being shared into 4 as opposed to 3 last year. So because we have invited other people to benefit from this initiative, our hope is that we will raise more so that we will have more to share. We do not want a situation where the 3 clubs will feel that if we recover the same amounts of money that we recovered last year, then they will go home with a little. No, we want, and this is why we thank you, Baze Radio. We thank all our partners for coming in and assisting us in marketing the sport, marketing the event, so that people can show up and we raise, funds. If we get to 3 million, well and good. If, Kido just decides that out of the 2 you get, I'll add 1, we have 3.
Amen to that. As well, when it comes to accountability,
yes,
how are we accountable to the amount that is being raised? Because we'll want equal, fair share distribution between, the teams.
Yes, last year when we had the sharing of the resources, actually it was a public event, which was even covered in the local newspapers. We had checks issued to the different gyms. Over and above that, because we want to have a follow-up, we want people, the gyms or the clubs, to be accountable.
Yes.
So last week on Thursday, we had an accountability meeting where the coaches of the 3 boxing clubs came out and did a breakdown. They did a presentation to us where we were showed up to the very last coin how it has been utilized. If something has remained behind, we were showed it has remained behind. Yes, I mean, when it comes to accountability, we even have books. People who contributed last year are invited to come, just look, check out the manner in which we spent the money, how it was shared, how each club used their funds. So it's something that we want to be accountable. We know there is usually a lot of suspicion when it comes to money.
Yes,
we ensure that we have a working team. At the likes of Anne, we have Delonis, we have Arnold, and the rest who are not even with us today, who help us in controlling or rather just demonstrating accountability in the use of these funds.
All right.
Yes.
Maproso Wakadinali featuring Susanna Oyo up next week. Maproso Wakadinali featuring Susanna Oyo. Now playing on Baze Radio to see the KE, 57 minutes past 4 p.m. We've got less than 3 minutes to wind up this hour. Now, just to ask you, Shadi and Benja, what is the state of boxing in the country?
Well, I think we are still trying. We are still trying things out. We've been having a lot of turmoil and confusion, especially going by the fact that in the just concluded Olympics, we did not even have representative at the Olympics. But I have confidence that we can still do much. We can still raise the young boxers to become better and to assume those positions. Yes.
We didn't have a representative, or we didn't qualify for the Olympics.
We did not qualify for the Olympics. Now that essentially means we do not have a representative at the Olympics, which is a very sad thing, because the past Olympics we've been having our representatives there. But for this Olympics that just concluded, we did not have someone to fly our flag. Remember, we've had the gold Olympic, the first gold Olympic in Africa that was won by a Kenyan. So, these are some of the memorable events that, when you remember, sometimes you get very uncomfortable with whatever is happening currently. But we are hoping that, hope should not be lost. One day, probably, we are going to rise above some of the difficulties we are experiencing. And that is why the law of the ring is important. That is why people must support the law of the ring, so that we make the dreams of these young boys and young women who are aspiring to represent us in those levels become a success. I have not had an opportunity of fighting all the way to the Olympics. I only fought in the national leagues in this country. And that was much. I think God was using me to that level, and so that I can come, we do the law of the ring so that we can motivate others to rise.
Amen. You're doing very great.
Thank you.
As well, Benja, where do you see, African boxers in the next few years to come?
I think it all depends on what they do from here on out. Because for us, what you're doing with Law of the Ring, we're trying to give them, a challenge that two lawyers can just come out of nowhere and create an event and bring together people and raise funds. Whereas in Kenyan boxing and African boxing as a whole, we see a situation where they're just marking time. They are not really doing much with the talents they have. So we hope that boxing, especially in Kenya, can be better marketed. You see the likes of football, rugby, they're well attended. But when you go to a boxing league game, you only find boxers around and maybe people in the neighborhood who thought they'd pass by because it's free. So we hope that there'll be better marketing of the league. We hope that they'll do better by the boxing clubs, by the boxing teams around, so that they're able to raise money and help people. But as for us, we're looking to give back to our communities where we came from, the people that look up to us, and just make them wholesome human beings, not necessarily big boxers or anything. That we leave to the federations and everyone else.
Thank you for that. Where can people, find you, support you?
Well, I am an oldie. I am found on the social media, popularly known as Facebook. You can find me as Shadrach Wawamboi. Now that is where I am. You can find me as Shadrach Wamboi at Instagram. Yes, that is where we can, exchange ideas, try and do some networking, try and, exchange ideas on how to grow the sport of boxing, grow ourselves. But over and above that, I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practice in the name and style of Wamboi Shadrach and Associates Advocates here at Bruce House in Nairobi, just next to City Hall. In addition to that, I chair, Sheria Mtani, which is now what has led us, to meeting up with Njeru and partnering. It's an NGO based in Nairobi and in Kajiado. So we just help people in accessing justice. We assist them in, just getting an equal treatment in the eyes of the law, as in the name of Sheria Mtani.
Benjamin?
I'm easily findable as Njeru Amudhoni across social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of them. And basically, I am also an advocate of Kenya, 4 years standing. I practice at MNW and Advocates LLP in Westlands. So if you're looking to contact me, if you're looking for any legal assistance, that's where you can find me.
All right, thank you so much. Wishing all the best. Hope to see you on 23rd at Charter Hall for the Law of the Ring Season 2. And to my amazing Baze Radio family, go check out Law of the Ring across all social media platforms. Tickets are still available. Till next time, same place, keep it Baze Radio to see the KE. In the next hour, 6 to 9 p.m. by one and only, I am Otieno, coming back with more. But for now, let's have some Vulai Movers Orombosaji playing on Baze Radio.co.ke.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.